Princess Kate quietly chuckles. 4 words missing from Meghan's announcement reveals a mystery behind the royal family. Hello, and a very warm welcome back to our LVT News YouTube. Oh, it has been quite the week since the news came out on Thursday that Harry and Meghan are going to go their separate ways when it comes to the King's coronation, with him set to be ignored by his family in London while Meghan stays back in LA to work on her TIG 2.0 mood board. It has been a headline, a minute type situation. There have been so many stories about transatlantic ping-pong stuff, saying that the absolute best Harry can hope for is a short hello from his cold family and a lot of finger-pointing, yelling and also name-calling on Twitter. It is enough to make any sensible tie to leave the app altogether. But there was something missing in the 48-hour storm. What name were we not really hearing? Well, it's the one person who seems to have been overlooked in all this clocking and arguing. Of course, I'm talking about Catherine, the Princess of Wales. We've got less than 3 weeks to go until King Charles and Queen Camilla are going to learn firsthand how difficult it is to wear a crown. Something interesting, though, is taking shape right now. The woman whose greatest achievement before she got married was organizing a charity roller disco and never once touching a paparazzo in the face is looking like she might be the biggest winner of all when it comes to this coronation. Now, the last commoner who married into the royal family was a woman named Elizabeth Woodville. Her story is rather tragic. Her sons got taken away to the Tower, and they were probably murdered by their uncle, Richard III. The Catherine, it looks like, has ended up as the most successful and powerful royal hire, maybe in the history of Buckingham Palace. When Coronation Day rolls around, it's officially Charles and Camilla's big day, but really, it is going to be Catherine, who appears set to triumph. Her evolution from just being an average university student with beautiful legs to a formidable queen in the making is gonna be all but. For one thing, it looks like the media oxygen is mostly hers and hers alone. Now, there's going to be lots of large, flashy, UK color pull-outs filled with photos of a dignified-looking Charles with a crown perched on his head, and also lots of long pieces about how Camilla went all the way from being the most despised woman in the UK to sitting in the gold state carriage. But really, the one person who more people are going to be watching than anybody else is Catherine, in more ways than one. It looks like a late Hilary Mantel might have been right when she described Catherine as appearing to have been designed by committee and built by craftsmen. Now, the author might not have meant that in a very nice way, but Catherine has turned out to be precisely what the British monarchy never realized it needed. She possessed the style and the attitude of somebody with the bluest of blue blood. And if I were a betting woman, then I would bet all my money on Catherine being an absolute dazzler on the big day. The fact that Meghan is not going to be there just made pulling off this coup de grace that much more of a sure thing. Meghan's attendance would have been the biggest possible distraction and symbolic attractor from Catherine. But since she won't be there, well, that possibility has just been taken away. Meghan's absence gives Catherine a clear run on the day, and it means that none of the editors from Fleet Street are going to have to run anything but adoring headlines. I'm going to be honest here. Now, it hurts my feminist heart that women are ever set up to compete against one another. But let's get real here. If Meghan had showed up to Westminster Abbey on May 6th, probably wearing some expensive couture because she has very expensive taste, then she and Catherine would have been relentlessly compared to each other. One of the biggest stories of the day would have been the interactions, or lack thereof, between Catherine and Bacon and who came out on top when it comes to style. More seriously for Catherine, though, Meghan's presence would have made the coverage, would have brought up their difficult relationship. Again, the tears, the bridesmaids, dresses, fights and accusations of baby brain. Essentially, the tabloids would have had a field day over the women's complicated. But instead, Meghan's going to stay back in California. And conveniently, for the sake of Buckingham Palace, she will be out of sight. So Catherine is free to rule the day. I think we're going